What if your rights were violated by the very people who are supposed to protect them? This isn't just a hypothetical. It's the reality former President Donald Trump is grappling with as he sues New York Attorney General Letitia James in Florida. He accuses her of overstepping her boundaries, violating his privacy and property rights, and meddling with his personal trust. But it doesn't stop there. Trump's legal team alleges that AG James isn't just doing her job. They claim she's waging a war of intimidation and harassment, not in the name of justice, but to advance her own political prospects. These are serious allegations that point to a disturbing trend of political maneuvering over fair legal proceedings. This sets the stage for a heated battle, not only between two individuals, but between the citizen and the state. It's a fight for rights, for power, and ultimately, for the soul of the American justice system. But it's not just the courtroom where this drama is unfolding. America's highways have become a stage for a different kind of protest. Our nation's truckers, the very backbone of our economy, are making their voices heard. They're not just hauling goods, they're carrying a message of opposition, a message against the actions targeting former President Trump. These hard-working truckers are putting the pedal to the metal, expressing their discontent with the current state of affairs. They're calling out the White House, criticizing them for turning a deaf ear to their concerns. They're not asking for much, just an open dialogue, a chance to be heard, a fair and transparent process. The truckers' protest is more than just a blockade of highways. It's a blockade against perceived injustice. It's a rally cry for fairness, for transparency, for a system that respects the rights of all its citizens. The truckers' protest is a vivid example of the public's growing distrust and dissatisfaction. As the public cries for fairness, the courts respond. Amidst the whirlwind of legal battles, a significant shift occurred in the New York Appellate Court. The bond that former President Donald Trump was initially asked to post, a staggering $454 million, was significantly reduced. The court decided to lower this figure to a still substantial, but notably less, $175 million. This decision is seen as a victory for Trump's team, providing breathing space in the midst of their fight against accusations of violating privacy, property rights, and interfering with trust. Yet, it's not just the financial implications that are noteworthy. This decision has sparked a broader conversation about the transparency and impartiality of our legal system. Critics argue that the legal pursuit against Trump lacks transparency and fairness, with accusations of political bias and overreach. This decision, while a victory for Trump, raises questions about the transparency and impartiality of our legal system. The court of public opinion, however, operates on its own rules, and it's within this arena that the critics of this legal pursuit against former President Trump have found their most resonant voices. Their arguments are as varied as they are impassioned, but a common thread runs through them all, a sense of a lack of transparency and fairness. Many argue that this pursuit has been tinged with political bias, that the scales of justice are being tipped not by the weight of evidence but by the weight of political ambition. They point to AG Letitia James, accusing her of using this lawsuit as a stepping stone to further her own political career, a move they see as a gross misuse of her authority. And then there's the judiciary. Critics argue that it, too, has overstepped its bounds. They point to the initial bond of $454 million that Trump was required to post in his legal case. A figure so astronomical, it was later reduced to $175 million by the New York Appellate Court, a reduction that critics see as an admission of an initial overreach. But perhaps the most resonant argument comes from those who believe that this legal pursuit infringes upon Trump's rights to privacy and property. They argue that the very essence of civil rights is being threatened, that if a former president can be subjected to such a legal onslaught, then what protections do ordinary citizens have? In this complex and divisive issue, it's clear that the fight for civil rights and the role of the judiciary are more important than ever. The public's verdict may not be legally binding, but it is a powerful indicator of the state of our democracy, a barometer that measures not just the pressure of the present, but the direction of the future.